Okay, welcome back to the channel. We're having a nighttime video today. Tonight, I guess I should say. Just wanted to, this is going to be a brief one. I know when I say that, but I actually do mean it. I want to talk about Honda, Toyota, and Mazda. These three car companies, I mentioned it briefly before, I think in one of my other videos, but I wanted to touch on it because it's been really bugging me, and just in the last few days, Mazda came out and mentioned something about I think it's called their MX-30 that they're bringing out. Anyway, their first EV, or their shot at the can at electric vehicle. And to begin with, it's like very, very small steps. And I get it's their first one, but they could be doing a better job. I mean, what I want to talk about is just how they're going about it, how they're saying, you know what, let me just stay where I am. Autopilot. This light, I've got a light here, and I hope it's not distracting the cars around me. My car is pretty tinted, so it shouldn't. Anyways, speaking of distractions, yeah, getting back to Mazda. Basically, I think they get a WLTP rating of 130 miles, and you know what that means. It's going to be like, what, maybe 100 miles? Maybe. By the time it gets out to the actual EPA, true numbers, true realistic. EPA is, who's kidding? EPA is one of the closest to reality range estimates. The other one in Europe, the one I mentioned, WLTP, it's nowhere close. Better than how it used to be in Europe, but I forget what the other one was called, but nowhere close. So what I'm trying to say is they're doing one of two things that I've heard, and either of which one they're doing is terrible for Mazda. They're either coming out with an inferior product, and that's really all they can get, which is sad, or equally as sad, if not a little more sad, is that they're sandbagging the car to make it slower, and they want to say that, you know, they want to make it just like a regular gas car, so their customers can get used to it quickly, or they want to do it so their customers get used to it. I don't know, because like that's how a nice car is. I don't know. I mean, I think if I had to choose between one or the two, I think that they actually tuned it down so it is more like a gas car, because they know their product isn't that great and can't compete with the cars that are out there right now, EVs. But it's just this whole mentality, this whole attitude of we don't care, we're going to put something out just to appease people, almost like a compliance thing, which I don't know. I'd say 2, 3, 4 years ago, yeah, companies were doing the compliance cars and everything. These days, EVs have taken off. Companies have gone all in and put everything on the table, and I think like Volvo and to some extent VW, and I think that most car companies get it now. Most. I'll get to the other two, Toyota and Honda, in a second. That Mazda just doesn't get it either. Like, I mean, I think they're just doing it because they think that this is just a fad. I mean, you know what? Speaking of fads, let's get off Toyota, Mazda, and let's get on to Honda. Honda's CEO said something like EVs are just a fad or something like that, and they're not going to last, they're not going to take off. I mean, Honda, I mean, they had that fit out, which was, okay, years ago it was fine, whatever, but they've done nothing to show that they are serious about electric vehicles or that kind of sustainable energy or EVs or anything like that. And then, I mean, just that cockiness of Honda. Short backstory, I used to have a Honda. I actually had many Hondas back in my day, and if I find any pictures, I'll throw it up here, but I don't know if I have any old pictures. And I love my Honda, and Hondas were great, and you know what? All I bought was Hondas. And they just got too cocky and too self-important for their own good, and they pissed me off. I remember a few times at the dealership and head office, I had some battles with head office, and I'm not a battly guy, folks, but I had some battles with head office, and I just swore off Honda. And I just looked around, and I had a Suzuki, then I had which was a great car, and then I had some Toyotas, and ever since I've never like got anything other than Toyotas, really, and that wasn't by choice. I think I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. If you're an OG subscriber, you would have known that I'm not always I wasn't intentionally going for Toyotas. It just ended up I had a RAV4, then another RAV4. Oh, before that I had Tundra that I had to rouse, and then I had a Highlander, and now we got a Tacoma. So, you know, it just worked out that way, right? Anyways, Toyota, like, they did so good with the Prius and how they brought that out. And if you thought back, probably like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, before these other companies came on board, and it was just Nissan and I guess the Chevy Volt and Tesla, and you thought to yourself, who's going to be the first, or who's going to lead the charge from traditional car companies, legacy car companies, to make a charge? You would have said, oh yeah, Toyota for sure. And they just sat on the Prius, made a little bit of different designs and split it up and made the Prime and all that kind of stuff. But they just concentrated on hybrids, and they didn't even want to go plug-in hybrid other than the Prime and stuff like that. I think it was a Prime. But it just goes to show you, once again, just like Honda, they're just conceited and cocky, and they think that they don't need to do anything else. And that's what bugs me, but that's why I've sworn off. If you've seen my recent videos with the Tacoma area, I've sworn off Toyota. This Tacoma, as soon as the Cybertruck comes out and I get a chance to get it, that Tacoma's gone. So I just wanted to vent. Thanks for listening to me, folks. If you're still with me here in the video, just driving, and I figured, you know, I've got the light here, I'll make a quick video just to vent, get stuff off my chest, because between Honda and Toyota, mostly Toyota, because I can relate to Toyota, having owned one right now, and then hearing that whole Mazda crap, I mean, just drives me nuts. And I don't know what it is with the Japanese. Like, it's those 3 Japanese. I mean, Nissan is in a whole world of hurt by themselves with their ex-CEO and their dwindling sales and stuff like that. But at least they're doing something to, you know, research and development with EVs, even though you can say they're not good, or Leafs, you know, say whatever you want to say, but Leafs not a bad car. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say, folks. Get it off my chest. I've gotten it off my chest. I said to myself, I got to do a video, get it off my chest. I got it off my chest, and now you guys can get back to what you're doing. If you agree with what I'm saying, or you have anything to add to it, or you don't agree, in a respectable, polite way, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the status or the state of EVs in traditional car companies as of today, pertaining to those 3 that I mentioned. So then, folks, that's all I got. I'll talk to you on the next one. See you. Bye-bye.